Hi, everybody, and welcome to our regular Thursday get together. So, thank you all for coming along this evening, and a thanks to all of those of you who will listen to this on replay as well. So, whether you're live with us or whether you listen to it in replay, either which way, you're very welcome. And thanks to all our friends on all the different platforms: YouTube, Facebook, X, Getter, etc. It's good to have you as we put the world to right. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about every week, actually. But sounds a particularly appropriate time to discuss the shenanigans happening in Clacton. I want to talk about that, and the whole Nigel Farage count bin face and all of that stuff. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Andy Burnham, who has been coronated. No scrutiny for our Andy. No. He's got 338 MPs apparently supporting him. So we're going to chat about Andy Burnham. Going to talk about Trump and Iran, because it's like a really bad marriage. Is it on or is it off? The ceasefire, the MOU, what's happening in Iran, we're going to talk about. But the first thing I want to talk about is a local thing that just pleases me so much. So I always want to have a good vibe about the show. So some of you might remember a year ago. Hi, folks. Thanks for joining. Hi, Lynn, Harry, Nicole. Good to see you all there. There was this time of the year, it's almost the 12th of July in Northern Ireland. And that's when we have big celebration where we actually celebrate having liberty and freedom. And they build bonfires, you see, right? Last year, there was a bonfire at a place called Moygashel, which is hard to pronounce, and even harder to spell. But anyway, on top of the big bonfire, which must have been 100 foot more high, they put a dinghy full of people wearing orange life jackets, and they burnt it. And oh my God, Northern Monkey, the pearl clutching, the outrage, it was awful. So, hi Angela, good to see you, Angela. So anyway, the lads down at Moygashel obviously have thought long and hard about this. They understand that, they got a lot of flack last year. So being the sort of people they are, and this is what I love, they've built a new bonfire. And what have they put on top of the new bonfire, bearing in mind the bad vibes from last year? Yes, a mosque. Oh my God, they've built a mosque. So let's bring everyone in and let's have a chat about the mosque of Moygashel, which has triggered all the right people. So just before I get into this one, I'd have had a busy day. I was going to go down to see it myself today. It's not too far. But look at other grandchildren duties, and I couldn't get down. But I saw that Katie Hopkins, who is here in Northern Ireland at the moment, she's got a show on in the Europa Hotel, I think tomorrow night or tonight. She was down at it as well. So it's a fantastic piece of work. And I don't know, Jed, if you check it on my any of my streams, but I've put up plenty of photographs. I've put photographs of it up as often as possible just to trigger all the right people. So, Adrian, I'm going to come to you first in this one because, hello, Salty Republican Rocker. Great to have you. There we go. Oh, my God, look at that, Adrian. They've put a mosque on top of a bonfire. No, it's not a real mosque, but what do you think about this? Are these bad boys, or is this freedom of expression?
I think it's beautiful. I'm sorry, I do. Freedom of expression, I would say it's more of a political protest, to be brutally honest.
Yep.
It's not cultural. Yes, the bonfire is part of the culture here for a certain demographic of the country. But to me, this is more of a political protest. And pardon me, over the last sort of 15, 20 years, a lot of the loyalist unionist community have felt disenfranchised, have felt abandoned by the government, unheard by the government on so many different aspects, whether it be the Orange Marches, things like that. There's so much of the Protestant community suffers from deprivation with education, housing, etc., etc. But this is just another way of the government now trying to clamp down on them. And everybody has the right to a political protest. Well, we used to have in this country, should I say. People might say it's in bad taste, but Dungannon, one of those towns, one of those parts of the UK that has been vastly impacted by migration of unwanted, uninvited guests.
Oh, massively. I mean, for those who don't know Dungannon, it is kind of migrant central, basically in Northern Ireland. So you're right, Adrian, in that regard. But having
There
said
was an
that,
incident a few weeks ago with a banner at a playground in Moycashel as well that the police took down. They put it up a couple of days later and the police removed it again. And see, what's interesting is the politicians are quick to condemn, but not actually listen to their concerns.
no. Well, did you see? And Jed's got it up on the screen for anyone watching. What they've done is, I just love all of this. They've doubled down when they heard all the whining and bitching from the political class. And what they've done is, on the top of the mosque, for those that can see it, they've stuck a jihadi with a knife and an ISIS flag. I mean, that's art, Adrian. That is definitely art. These guys are not backing down.
So like, again, don't forget, we have the opposite side of the community here in Northern Ireland who are openly supporting Palestine, saying that refugees are welcome. You know, nobody in this country, nobody in this community was asked, do you want these people in your community? Do you want your communities destroyed by these people who have a totally different culture, different religion, different way of life than what we are used to here? It was just foisted upon them. So they have the right to have a political protest. And if they're not happy, they're not happy. You know, this is what the political class have seemed to have forgotten.
Well, you know, the thing is, I see Northern Monkey says, I thought the idea was to be the tallest structure in the locality.
Although,
Well,
when the police come to pull it down, I just hope the communities there are handing out bacon sandwiches to everybody to really rub it in.
Yeah. I think if the police try to take this down, there could be problems, which I don't want to see. But if you interfere, especially as we approach these next couple of days. Hi, Daniel, aka John. Good to see you. I told Jed, what do you think of? I know you probably haven't had a chance to see that much of it, but it's been a big story here today. The Secretary of State, Hilary Benn, has condemned it as being hate speech. The Justice Minister has condemned it, but then Katie Hopkins has pointed out that she's actually bigger than a bonfire, and it's causing a lot of controversy. What's your take, Jed?
Well, could have said it better.
Okay,
Sorry,
Jed,
I'm
Jed.
muted. I don't know why. I think it's great, to be honest. I think it's the people sticking two fingers up at the establishment. It's, you know, because all the establishment has come out in horror. Of course they have. Well, why wouldn't they? Because they're all as woke as each other. Yeah, and it's all about, oh, you know, my poor migrant and my poor, you know, boat person. And, you know, and to be honest, I don't think it could have happened anywhere else other than Northern Ireland. And I think that's because of Northern Ireland's background, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, sorry, was somebody speaking then?
No, I was going to say, no, I think you're right, Jed. There's something very Northern Irish about this.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a couple of you that are there, and obviously, I've spent 2.5 years there in total. But you know, there's something about the Northern Irish that if they've got something to say, oh, they're going to say it, and they'll say it loud and proud. And go on, boys. You get that effigy birds on top. It's brilliant.
Well, Jed, last summer, these same guys, and they're all young lads doing this mostly. They built the bonfire and stuck a dinghy with.
I remember that.
Remember that?
I do. And I thought that was just as hilarious as well.
Yeah,
because it got the establishment again, didn't it? It got them.
It
did. All riled up.
And what I love about it, Jed, is that a year later, they've doubled down, and that is, I think, a local thing.
David, you see,
sod you, we'll do it even more. You're not going to tell us what to do.
As you said there, David, it's the young people who are doing this, who are building these bonfires, but it's the young people who are suffering because.
Can I just answer the question? Sorry, Adrian. Can I just answer the question off Lynn? Would I like to throw the match? It'd be fun, wouldn't it? It'd be hilarious, yeah. But actually, I wouldn't do it with a match. I think what I'd do is I'd fire a rocket into it because that's quite typical of Northern Ireland, or maybe a Molotov cocktail. I think that would be suiting to set it on fire.
Well,
I think petrol bombs could be in scarce supply because of the Iran war and the price of petrol at the minute, Jeff.
Is that right, buddy?
Yeah, Grantonio, come to you in this one. Well, what do you make of this controversy, the mosque on top of the bonfire?
Well, I mean, look, we would never do anything like that in Scotland, but maybe in Northern Ireland you've got less sophisticated palates.
But I'm bummed.
Yeah, about 200 of
Sorry.
them, I think. 200 of them.
Yeah. No, there is a famous case in Scotland of a police officer who was burnt to death on an island in the 1970s. Britt Eklund was there, and so was Christopher Lee. But we won't go into that. Look,
great movie. Yeah,
fantastic film. Especially that scene with Britt Eklund. But anyway, enough of my problems. We don't want violence. It's the left who want it. We've been saying for years we don't want. Just to echo what Adrian's just been saying there, we never asked for this. So when it does kick off, we can always put our hands up and say we warned that this would happen. Right, like if I'm saying if it gets worse than mosques, silly mosques on bonfires, the symbolism. If anything gets worse than that, we can wipe our hands clean and say we didn't want the mass migration of people from third world countries with bizarre, archaic beliefs, medieval beliefs, and they've come and they're the ones who have created the violence.
Well, actually, Grantonio, the photo that Jed stuck up here for those that can watch, it apart from the mosque, there's two messages: secure our borders and end the threat of radical Islam. And as you know, not that many weeks ago, we were talking about an attempted decapitation here in Belfast. You know, from someone from a Muslim background. So you can understand the frustration of these people. You really can. And we've been talking about it, Grantonio, for forever.
But you see, when it hits the fan, if there's a crisis, if things get really out of hand and mass migration, remigration does happen. I mean, like, do you not think there's other problems that we have on top of that? Like the traitor class.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of blood that has been spilt on our streets with the likes of Pratt, James O'Brien, and other people cheering it on, and Sir Keir Starmer, and the Tories, why not? The Boris wave. Yeah. I mean, I'll never forgive those people. They're still a problem.
Listen, we're going to get to Grantonio. Trust me, we're going to get to all of that because I've got a lot I want to talk about with regard to the Conservatives. Paddy, just quickly to you. I will move on now. But I guess you've seen a couple of the images that have been stuck up. What's your take on it?
Oh, I got a question. I saw they're reporting over here that somebody's actually been arrested for doing this. Has somebody been arrested or not?
That's a really good question.
So yes, I think it was a 51-year-old man.
A 56-year-old man was arrested under the 1987 Policing Act, and I don't even know how they've managed to get that. But, I mean, the mosque is still there on top of the bonfire, and the political class are all very clear, Paddy. They want this taken down, and the locals are saying, try it and see what happens.
I'll send them a gallon of gas and a match.
Yeah, I personally think when you look at the likes of Damien Hirst and Tracy Emin and all their sort of modern art pieces, I think this should be hanging in the Louvre, to be brutally honest.
The thing guys, look, they've even lit it up on top.
It's genius, Jan. I mean,
it is. It's brilliant. You know, it's not the fact that they spent 200 pallets. I mean, where do you find 200 pallets these days? You can't. You know why? Because they're all in Northern Ireland as a bonfire. with an
well, actually, Jed, there is another one. Adrian, you'll be familiar with this. The biggest bonfire in the world has been built elsewhere at a place called Craigie Hill, which is near Larne. And it's humongous.
Why is that not surprising? It's Northern Ireland.
Nah.
Go ahead, Paddy. Go ahead. What were you
saying? I was going to say the best bonfire was 40 years ago when the local mayor in Philadelphia dropped a bomb on our local terrorists and burned down a whole city block. Now that was the best bonfire.
Well, that's the best bonfire your way, but
Do you reckon that mosque has the call to prayer 5 times a day, seeing it's all lit up and all that?
I don't know. Angela says
The real desecration is all the churches up and down the country.
Well, actually,
Is
that
it
was
facing
when-
Mecca?
Go on. Somebody
Is it facing
speak.
Mecca?
Look, see, to be honest, right? Those young lads building it, they're the young lads that are suffering because of all this migration. They're the ones that can't get houses in the areas that they grew up in. They can't get jobs. Their kids can't go to school, the local school, because the places are all being taken up. It's harder to get hospital appointments and medical appointments now. So
They've
this
been
is
told to level up.
yeah, but this protest covers so many different levels, and to be honest, it's more aimed at the traitorous politicians who have allowed this to happen, and that's what they have done. They've committed treason against this country.
Shouldn't there be an effigy of Starmer on there? Am I getting into dodgy territory here? I don't want to be seen to be promoting violence because I don't want Sir Keir Starmer to burn to death in a wicker man. I don't want any of this.
He's on his way out, Gran Antonio. That wouldn't have the same impact when you think about it.
But look at the damage that Sir Tony Blair, Freudian slip, that Tony Blair has done. Look at the damage that he did in the Middle East.
Yeah,
look at the damage.
Do you honestly believe there would be the public reaction to this if it was a 50-foot effigy of Tony Blair or Keir Starmer compared to a mosque? No. This story of a mosque has went around the world.
Because it's a mosque. Yeah,
Yep.
Because it's a mosque, Adrian. If this had been an effigy of Parliament, an effigy of Stormont or something like that, it would have not had the same impact. And it's interesting as well that there's been people travelling from the Irish Republic to see this, because the point you guys are all making is the core point. This isn't about necessarily religion as well. In a way it is, because it's to do with Islam. But it's because the communities in Ireland, North and South, Protestant, Catholic, whatever, they all suffer because of this mass migration. And when something like this pops up, I think I've seen loads of people who would not be from a unionist community who have been delighted to come along. They think it's great. And they think that, it takes some young lads to go and do something that the political class, who we're going to get to very quickly now, won't do. They'll sit around just talking. These guys have gone.
See, if this was from the left, there'd be no kick up. If they were doing something to burn an effigy of something they were against, if they were doing it, there would be no kick up about this whatsoever.
Question.
Paddy, go ahead.
How many churches have mysteriously caught fire on the island?
A good point. Remember Notre Dame in Paris.
Notre Dame, so many churches around Europe have mysteriously burnt down, Paddy. And that's
what I'm saying. I've seen, and I don't see the outrage and the hysterics over. I mean, every week I'm seeing different churches on fire over in England and Europe, and I don't know if it's happened in Ireland, either north or south yet. But I've seen them; they're burning everywhere, including, like you said, Notre Dame, the most famous of them all. But that isn't. There's no outrage over that. They're accidents.
But they're the thing is, listen, they're actual churches. This is a cardboard effigy. It's not a mosque.
It looks like a kid jumpy thing.
But look at the bonfires in England. For years they've burnt effigies of Guy Fawkes. That was originally like their political sort of dissent by putting that effigy of Guy Fawkes on it. It's just moved to a slightly different format this time. And come the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes will be burnt all over bonfires, all over the the rest of England and whatnot. So it's just a slightly different form of protest, but it's sending out the same message about politicians and what they've done to this country.
Well, let's park it there. It'd be interesting to see what happens if they try to take this mosque element of the bonfire down or not, and if they do, what the response from the local community will be. And if I were them, I would think twice before I do that, because those young lads down Dungannon direction, they're fairly strong-minded people. It'd be interesting.
Odds on more civil disobedience over the next few days.
Oh, I would listen. If they do anything, there will be. You can just bet your bottom dollar on it. You know, I mean, every year the BBC run a hate jihad against this celebration, and when something like this goes up, I just love it because the guys have doubled down. It's the right attitude. Last year they were condemned because they put a migrant dinghy on top. This year they've put a mosque on top. I just think it's really.
Just make an interesting point there about the migrant dinghies. If you promote migrants coming over in dinghies, you must know that a lot of them will sink, and a lot of men, women, and children will die.
Yep.
We're not responsible for the deaths of these people. The people.
What women and children?
Sorry.
Yeah.
What women and children? I've never seen any women and children in any of these boats.
Yeah.
That's good. Fair
You
point,
see the
Matty.
point I'm making, though. But yeah, okay, fair point. But you see the point I'm making. Dinghies sink, people die. We don't want this. We don't want them coming over here. We don't want death. We don't want violence. All this talk about a civil war that's coming, it's not going to be good. I feel that people aren't predicting it. I feel they're promoting it. But that's
And it's not a civil war.
Go on, Paddy.
It's not a civil war. You've been invaded. It's repelling the barbaric horde.
Well,
it's not a civil war.
You and your 700 million guns.
That's right. I'll ship
Antonio
you
wins
over.
it this year.
We got the barge. Adrian, good for you.
Congrats! I think Antonio, that must be one of your first wins.
My first.
on
Yeah,
this
that
my
was
first.
Grand's
Not-
first.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Very
Okay,
good.
Jed, if you could put the applause music on at some point, an applause sound effect.
Okay, well, I'll see what I can do for you, mate.
Thank you.
Maybe I could. Or maybe I could do a bit of this.
Silence.
There you go.
Can you?
We need a
Very
hero.
Very
We need
good.
a hero.
Oh, we're going to get to
We can't have a hero because Bonnie Tyler's died.
we're going to talk about Bonnie Tyler before we finish. But anyway, let's move on. Spend off
That
time
was
on-
the worst sound effect I've ever heard, Jed.
Okay, well, you could even have this one.
No, you're right. We can't have it. I
Two
can't
for
hear
two,
it.
man.
Right. So, oh God, Jed's discovered the special effects.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
He's running them. He's running
Right.
them through our website.
Hang on. Think of the listeners, please. Now,
What
the
people
big-
think of the listeners,
the
please.
big story, even bigger than this bonfire, has been, of course, what happened on, gosh, was it Monday or Tuesday, when Nigel Farage took to the cameras, made a speech saying that he was stepping down as MP for Clacton upon Sea and triggering, therefore, a by-election. And I have to say, just give you my off-the-top take on it, I supported him. I think it was a courageous, brave thing to do. Then what happened was kind of, well, it's been mad. All the main parties, Labour, Conservatives, Lib Dems, Greens, have said, we're not putting anybody up. We are not going to put a candidate up against Nigel Farage. This is, what did Kemi Badenoch call it? A hissy fit. He's having a hissy fit. So we're not putting up a candidate. This is the same Kemi Badenoch, by the way, who spent since May 7th on a victory tour going around the UK, pretending that the Conservatives are back and she's got a bloody plan, right? That Kemi Badenoch. Yeah, Jed. And Jed, I have to say now, I think I am very much directly aligned with you now, because the way I see it, Lynn says, thought you were going to play Mission Impossible there, Jed.
Well, you never know, Lynn.
It's a bit,
I can
it's a
find
bit
it
like
in
that,
my
actually.
house.
Then. Yeah. So listen.
Dun.
Oh God, he's going to say. So what? So Nigel stepped down. Nobody else is going to stand against him. Meanwhile, Richard Tice's financial details are being leaked. Meanwhile, Robert Jenrick's being investigated. So it's a full-on establishment assault on reform, as far as I can see. And here is really my main thing in this. Then I'll open it up to everybody. You know, I've been guilty of saying that I felt Nigel Farage was controlled opposition, blah, 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 blah. You know, I've said that, Chad. But I need to sort of push back on that a wee bit against myself, because when you've got the entire media establishment against you, the entire political establishment against you, you're not controlled opposition. You're not. So I admire Farage for what he's done. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, though, because there's an outside possibility if no other significant party stands and they get all their voters to vote for Count Bloody Binface, this BBC shill that they're putting up as a sort of so-called lovable eccentric, he can maybe even sneak the seat. And I've seen people on the right celebrating that, thinking, oh, it would be hilarious if we have Count Binface in Parliament. No, it wouldn't. It would be the end of democracy as far as I'm concerned. So my summary, I stand with Farage. I think he's done the right thing. How it works out, I don't know. I'm disgusted with the rest of the media. Chet, that's the sort of...
Well, before I answer the overall question, I've got to go because it's been mentioned. Okay, if I cross over the top, there we go. Right. Oh, stop. Right. Okay, I'll bring this. I had to play.
We'll have to expect to see Tom Cruise scaling that bonfire.
And now our special guest joining us from the States. Welcome, please, Tom Cruise. Right, Chad.
Tiny Tom Cruise, if you don't mind. Tiny Tom Cruise. Right. I think
he is listening to this, guys.
They all do. They all do. So talk of Hollywood.
No. I'm in two minds, right? Because you know how I feel about reform, and I think reform is not the answer, but it is an answer for now, right?
And I agree.
And Farage is the key linchpin of that party. Reform is Farage as it stands. Okay, so the point I'm trying to get at is it's a great move in two regards. He's challenging the establishment, and look what the establishment has done. The establishment have all fallen into line. We're not putting a candidate. We're not putting a candidate up. So what we will end up with, as you've rightly said, David, as on screen now, is vote for Binface. So let's just play this through. Let's say all the left-wing parties, and including the Conservative Party, all vote for Binface. Are you really going to have a guy? Now, bear in mind, the guy behind this cannot go in Parliament wearing a disguise. It will not be allowed. There is a dress code, and he's a representative then of the people. But it shows you the establishment hate of Farage and the Reform Party, that they've all fallen into line. They're all towing the same line, which is we're not putting a candidate up, and they will go round, vote for Binface. That is not democracy. And Farage is shouting out loud about the lack of democracy in this country. That's why he stepped down, because what did they try and do? They tried to bring him down over the £5 million donation he had prior to being an MP. And it's gone on and on and on. So he said, all right, I'll challenge you. So he stepped back and said, right, okay, we'll have a by-election. Let the public decide. And what have the establishment done? They've all gone, oh, we're not doing this. Why? Because they are scared, and they'll just get Binface elected. There is no way Binface is going to go in Parliament. I'm telling you now. But yet he will claim his money. He will claim his expenses. He'll be on £90,000 a year, and he'll be claiming all those business expenses and the second home and all that. And nobody will ever know, and he'll represent nobody. That is not democracy, and that shows the state of democracy in this country.
Adrian, can I bring you in? What's your thoughts on this one as to what's happened?
Well, I just hope it's a recycling bin that he's using, to be brutally honest, because it wouldn't be very green if it wasn't. Pardon me.
Has Farage done the right thing?
I think he should have just stayed there and just went, F you, I'm not moving. You can fire whatever crap you want at me. Because what is the point of standing down to then stand again for re-election? You can say other people aren't standing against him as well, but that just makes a complete mockery of it, because if you're going to attack him, you want him out. So why are you not going to put an opponent in against him to get him out?
Well, see, this is what enrages me against, especially the Conservatives. I'm most angry at them. In 2024, Farage got about 49% of the vote in Clacton. Tories came second on about 25%, so they were way behind him. But Kemi's telling us all how great a job she's doing. And yet, Adrian, when she could put a candidate up and could he beat Farage? I have no idea, but, and she doesn't. And instead she says Conservatives should vote for Count Binface. I think
How
outrageous.
bad would it look for her if she got absolutely destroyed? Well, her candidate got destroyed.
Yeah,
That would
exactly.
be a bloodbath for her. That's why she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to expend the ammunition.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
doesn't want the end to become the target.
Well, that's right. And that's why Labour, you see, aren't putting up a candidate either, because they're too busy promoting Andy Burnham. They don't want to have an embarrassment of a humiliation. They only got 15% of the vote in 2024 in Clacton. So they don't want to put up a candidate. You know what I mean? So it's but in not doing it, Grantonio, it's a denial of democracy. Why can't the people of Clacton be given a bloody choice? Yeah, there's a new Conservative logo. So, yeah, I like that one. Grantonio.
Yeah. I mean, it's more humiliating in my estimation that they haven't put
Yes.
anyone
Yes.
across. So I mean, I feel desperately sorry for the people of Clacton. Like, even if you're not a Farage fan, by the way, I'm not much of a fan of Nigel Farage. But when did he announce this? What day was it? Monday,
Monday, Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday. Time does funny things. Yeah, good on you. I might have described it to you guys at the time as his Trump move. Like, Trump was loving it when he got arrested. Do you remember? And he had his mugshot taken. And it's like it's his put up and shut up moment. And I think it's great. There is point to this. He's saying, right, well, let the people of Clacton decide. Great move. And then they're all saying that him doing this is a gimmick. No. The ones who have all conspired together, the Tories, the Greens, Restore, Labour, to not run a candidate, that's the gimmick. I've never seen that happen in politics. I know I'm a little bit younger than you guys, but I can't remember anything like that happening. And another thing about bin face. I don't find stuff like that funny, but then maybe I've got a very strange sense of humour anyway. It never made me laugh. I understand that he was a joke writer for Have I Got News for You. That might explain one or two things. But it's stuff I just don't... There seems to be like a sort of contrived consensus at times about things that you should be laughing at. Well, do you remember Ed Miliband eating the bacon sandwich? I don't find things like that funny. They've got a photograph of him mid-eating something. It's going to be all over Have I Got News, Count Binface. And there's something really smug about the whole thing as well. So I just think it's appalling.
Yeah, I mean, Paddy, you've been watching it from a distance. But I mean, this is a big moment because Nigel Farage is as close as we have to
I think this is a perfect. The fact that they don't even have the cojones to run anybody against them is just plays even more into this play. I think this was a brilliant move by Farage. Just like it's like Trump and his picture, his his book, his mugshot. This was a brilliant move. It really was, and it shows them for the total hypocrisy. They can't deny that what's going on with him is them behind it, because they won't. We're not. Oh, yeah, we're not even. No, because if they were serious that he if they seriously thought they were going to they'd put somebody up, but they don't even have the guts to do that. So it's like they don't have the guts to stand out in the street and go toe to toe. I mean, Farage should play this for all it's worth. And as far as this binhead guy, I don't know. He looks like some sort of cross between a Dalek and a Cyberman.
There is such a thing as failing with honor. And I do think whatever your chances are.
Well, that's what honor is.
Yes, actually, yeah, that's a definition. You should put somebody forward, whether you know that the Tories are going to get trounced or whatever, but you're displaying that you have confidence, at least, to fight the fight, not to win, but to fight the fight.
But the thing is, Grantonio, I mean, people have such short memories, but back in May 7th, Reform absolutely obliterated Labour and the Conservatives, most particularly. And it's been since then that they've cranked up the pressure on Farage, and now it's on Richard Tice and it's on Robert Jenrick. It seems to be the deep state is leaking everything.
Well, I thought Farage was the establishment candidate. Am I wrong here? It just feels like everybody is what's the word, conspiring
against him.
Yeah, David.
Yeah. So the point here is, guys, right? Farage has done this because the establishment was ganging up on him to get him out of Parliament over some monies that he got, right, and that he didn't declare, etc., etc., or he hadn't paid tax, whatever he did, whatever they're trying to get. So he's gone, look, the establishment are out to get me. So I want the people to support me. So I'm going to call the by-election. I'm going to step down and call the by-election. And then what did the establishment do? They fell in line against
They conspired.
him, which is
They conspired.
they're conspiring now to get Binface in.
There's
And
another
that
part of this too.
shows that Farage is 100% correct.
Paddy, you were going to say there's another aspect?
Yeah, there's another aspect. They don't want to put anybody up because here's the thing: is how many votes did Farage get last time? They put somebody up. They put anybody up. How many votes will Farage get this time? And all the work they've done to try to destroy him, and now he's got even more support. That's what they're afraid of.
I was watching the speech live. I thought it was an excellent speech, by the way. I mean, when he walked on and he had a little laughter, I thought, he's not resigning. He's not doing that. And because I was watching it on Sky News, ironically, because he directed a lot of his opprobrium towards Sky News. And a lot of the speech, he was talking about why he needs this money. He needs it as essentially, it's literally a lifesaver. This is security. This is private protection for him and his family. I didn't even know he had a daughter, by the way, until Sky News told me about it. And then, as soon as the speech was finished, it was Adam Bolton. Just make a point about Adam Bolton very quickly. He's not looking a well man, by the way. If you see him now, I've not seen him in years, and he was wheeled out on Sky News as soon as Farage finished his speech. He's really, and just a very, very quick other point. I imagine he's made a lot of enemies at Sky News, but that's an aside. All of them were talking about how preposterous it was he was running. Anything to evade the issue. That this is the most attacked member of Parliament, possibly in the past 20 years. This is the one who has had more death threats, more literal assaults on him than anybody else. Save the unfortunate members of Parliament who have passed away in the past 20 years. Second to them, none of them talked about that. Isn't that interesting?
Well, I mean, that's why. I mean, Adrian, I feel that we saw what happened over in the States last year when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And if you said to me, who do you think out of all the British politicians is the one most likely who could potentially, God forbid, but could be assassinated? I would say the man on screen, Nigel Farage. What do you think, Adrian?
I would say it's possible. Pardon me. We've saw how he's been attacked with milkshakes and all that in the past and other things. And it's only a matter of time before somebody pops up with a knife or a gun and tries to do something really stupid. But isn't it interesting just how his expenses were leaked? And then was it Tice? His were leaked? Leaked as well.
Yep.
So this is somebody with rather deep connections that has to be able to get all this information that's doing it. So
and the timing, Adrian. The timing. Burnham about to become leader. Maybe call a general election. Let's burn Farage and Tice. Just a thought.
Do you think they're being destroyed from within? Because it has to be people deep within those parties.
Well, actually, Adrian, you're making a very interesting point. It was suggested to me that there may be one or even maybe a couple of people embedded within Reform who are the source of,
Think about it, because how else is somebody from outside that party going to have such intimate knowledge of financial transactions? They're not.
The government knows everything.
Well, Paddy, you're that's all true. Yeah.
Okay, maybe somebody in a banking sort of situation, but the reality is it's probably somebody deep within their own party that knows the
Zia has a lean and hungry look.
Well, actually, I've come to quite like him, Zia. Actually,
Yeah, likewise, David.
But the thing that seconds me is it's the contempt, Jed. The contempt. The people at Clacton, and I see a few people have said this in the stream. Like, why can't they be allowed to have a choice? Why are they being treated as I put out earlier today? You got a choice. All you plebs in Clacton, vote for Farage or vote for Count Binface. That's your choice. And honest to God, if that's the way this country's going, democracy is dead and buried, and we won't be voting our way out of it. If that's the case.
Well, he's dead now, because that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah.
Take away the choice, haven't they? They've taken away candidates that the public could have voted for and said, yeah, we don't like Farage. Well, what it actually is, it's been 30, 40 years of the establishment hating Farage. Every single time he's gone on a campaign, whether it be Brexit, whether it be whatever, he's rose to the top and he's shouted and been beamed across above all the others. And I think the establishment are literally terrified of him, because if they stood candidates and he's whitewashed them, then what does that say about their politics? And that's what they're worried about. What the public will say about the politics. So they'd rather go, we will deny the people of Clacton democracy so we can stand in lockstep and say, point the finger at Farage and say, he's the bad man. No, they are the bad people. Farage is a good man. And I know people on this stream, and I know people that listen to us do not like Farage. But this, the more I think about it, is a courageous and brave step to do.
Yes.
To say, hey, I will stand in front of the public and let the public decide. Now, let's say these fielded candidates and he lost. Do you know, he'd step down from the party. The party would become something else. Probably Jenrick would take over, and the party would become something else. It would not be the reform that we know. But the point is, he's constantly, over 30, 40 years, the establishment's out to get me. And we can see it in plain sight here and now.
But Jed, it's never been as obvious as this. This is like
this is it. And this is what he's done it for, so the public can see.
Can I just make a very quick point? Farage is made of steel. I mean, you remember that time the plane crashed?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
People forget about that. The plane crashed. What did he do? He got out and lit a cigarette. He's been through some stuff, and I wouldn't be able to do his job for 10 minutes. You know, just do you remember the pub in Edinburgh that he was hounded out of?
Oh yeah,
a few years ago. Yeah, go on, David.
No, it's just that the pressure that man is under is enormous, and
his family as well,
and his family. Like, I don't want to repeat his daughter's name because, as you said, Sky News did that. But I mean, his daughter, as far as I understand, lives in what was the matrimonial home, because, as you know, him and his wife got divorced. But I understand, like, the daughter has nothing to do with politics. I can tell you, when I was in frontline politics, if anyone had gone after my family, I can't publicly say what I would do, but you know, I can understand Nigel Farage's rage. And Grantonio, if you saw the press conference he gave on Tuesday afternoon, I mean, he was angry, and rightfully angry, at the way the mainstream scumbag new media have gone in.
The media didn't mention it. None of them mentioned. Well, obviously Sky News weren't going to, but none of them mentioned what the £5 million was for. None of them. Yeah, and there's a reason why they're not mentioning it, because they know that there's substance to it.
But the point is here, he stepped down because of this possible investigation. I've just pulled up on screen from your ex, David, where they've got that brilliant Ed Davey, you know, that clown, and he is a clown, And notice he's Sir Ed Davey. It's amazing who they make sirs nowadays, isn't it? Yeah. But he's there saying, no, Farage has broken the rules. And then the Sky presenter had to say to him, oh, wind on a second. You've not even started an investigation yet. So how do you know he's broken the rules?
But like, to go out, I think going after children, it's reprehensible, because not every child will share their parents' same point of views. And we've seen many a time where children and parents have had disagreements over politics, and, you know, even look at COVID.
His daughter would probably vote for Binface, Adrian.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? So, like, it's unfair to label that child or that woman the same as her dad, because they could have totally opposing views. It's the dad who agreed to step into the public spotlight by becoming a politician, not the daughter. So to target her, I just think is so unfair, and it's actually so low, and it shows the morals and the standards of the journalism in this country.
Well, I think that's it. The media have disgusted me. I mean, I've always been kind of angry at the media, but if you watch how they have been, you know, they've been sniggering. They've been absolutely sniggering at the idea of, oh, now, Nigel, you're going to have to face Count Binface. So we've humiliated you. But no, they've humiliated themselves. That's what they've done.
Have I got news for you? Is going to be even more unwatchable than it already is on Friday.
Is that still going? Because I stopped watching that years ago when it stopped being funny.
Well, when they got rid of Angus.
Just like The Last Leg on Channel 4, I used to watch that, and then he just went complete hardcore left wing, and I just got sick of it, and it was just, bashing Trump, bashing Farage. I just thought, hang on, there's more you can take the Michael out of. I nearly said the piss. Sorry, I did. Just Farage. But because all the media is left wing as well, never mind the establishment. This is why Farage has done what he's done. He's showing the country, look, I've been angry for 30 years, and this is what the establishment are doing to me.
But it's not just the left-wing media. If you've been reading the Daily Mail, which I have read over the last several days, they've had people like Dan Hodges writing hit piece after hit piece on reform and Farage. Do you know? So it's not just the uni party; it's the uni media. All the media, it's David, all of them.
But have you noticed that the Restore lot, they're still going after Farage?
I want to get to them because I have to. I agree, Antonio. I've decided to have second thoughts about Restore, and the reason, the fact that Rupert Lowe chose to unfollow me, having followed me for about 8 years the other day, didn't overly impress me. Not that he runs his own social media account, as anyone in the inside knows. So hello, Alistair Harrison. But the Restore, I now say, all he whenever Kemi Badenoch came out with her sarky, Nigel's having a hissy fit and we're not standing, within about 5 minutes, Rupert Lowe had said the same, Grantonio. I now think that Restore is basically Restore conservatives. That's what I think. And I'm not disputing some of the good work that's been done on the rape gangs and stuff like that. Sure. But I do think that, and I'm
good people. Very good people, as you know. A good friend of mine was running.
Nice guy.
They're romantics. Yeah. They're romantics, and that should have been the end of them. Actually, Makerfield. They weren't awful. They didn't do better. I actually think they were overestimated what people were saying. In fact, my friend, didn't he talk about double-digit figures a couple? They
thought they were going to win it.
Romantics, not living in the real world.
Yeah. Exactly right. That's the thing. I believe that, and this is where Jed, I paid tribute to you the other day in one of my podcasts. I think if you look at the world
rightly so, though, David. Rightly so.
Yeah, red letter day, Jed. Not often you get that, but I think you have to look at the world, like Antonio says, realistically, and you have to consider what is possible as opposed to what you would really like. And I think Nigel Farage basically does that. That's why he's a centrist figure. I'd like to be much tougher on a load of stuff, but I recognize that to get elected, you've got to win from the centre. Farage thinks that. And if you look at the May 7th result, nobody can disagree. No one can say that, Reform didn't do well. They did extraordinarily well. And I think it's because of that result in May that they've now decided, Paddy, come to you in this one. They've decided we need to get Farage out before he ever gets in. Because a bit like with Trump, once they get in, the problem's so much worse. Would you not, Paddy, what do you think about that theory?
That's the last thing they want is Farage to get in any time in the next 3 years is when him and Trump are together, because the first thing that the two of them would do is make a big show out of healing the relationship between Great Britain and and everything. And what Starmer just destroyed. Right now, the Brits are persona non grata here. The political Brits, not the British people, but the political Brits. And I forget it; they're persona non grata. What he did, and the way they he's still feeling. Trump just picked another fight with Spain over the slate.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's the last thing they want is Farage to get in there before Trump's term is up.
So the whole thing has been sickening. Adrian, I wanted to come to you on this because I know you kind of are of a Restore persuasion, but I've done an about turn because I wasn't impressed with Rupert on following me, but that was Alistair, not Rupert, and I'm not impressed about the fact that they fell into line with Kemi Badenoch over Clacton. Why couldn't they have put up a Restore? Maybe they would have won. Why didn't they do that, Adrian? Why are they playing the establishment game? Adrian?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I did see what do you call him? Rupert Lowe was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes, yes.
So I haven't had a chance to listen to that. So I'm hoping there might be a wee bit of information in there that we could maybe take out as to why. But I did find that strange. But then again, maybe he's just keeping his powder dry. I'm thinking we will fight the battles that we can win. Because if Farage is confident enough that he's going to win that seat back, then why would you expend ammunition to get beaten and then have that used as a stick to beat you with in future?
Well, up to a point, but a lot of the young Spartans online that support Restore, I mean, they, as Grantonio said, and I know there's good people in Restore. Don't get me wrong, I know because quite a few of them follow me, but I think they live in an online world where it's all Rupert. Rupert's been chatting to Elon. Rupert's been in to see Joe Rogan.
But have you clocked as well that online world where God Emperor Rupert this, God Emperor Rupert that? There seems to be a bit of a civil war going on between certain members of Restore and what you might call ethnats. I've noticed that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Because I'm sort of vaguely following this. So Rupert Lowe's not quite towing the ethnat line, is that right? And I just think it's the end of Restore. Sorry to be so critical.
I'll tell you why that is. Because when Rupert Lowe does interviews, he actually speaks very well. He's pretty sensible, doesn't say anything that's too extreme. And that's because it's Rupert Lowe. But if you read Rupert Lowe's X account, there's much stronger stuff being said, but it's not necessarily being said by Rupert Lowe under Rupert Lowe's Twitter heading, So I'm just, and he's not the only politician who
compare
has
that. Sorry, I'm talking over you, David. You're about to say the only politician?
Rupert Lowe isn't the only politician that's got someone running their social media. I get that. I understand that. But I'm just saying that's the reason, Grantonio, why there's a big difference between Rupert, I'm not into ethno-nationalism, TV interviews, but then you read some of the stuff coming out from within the store. They're 100%. Yeah.
But compare that to Farage and his style of leadership. I'm not saying one's better than the other. But I don't think Farage would tolerate any dissent like that on his X account. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not Farage running his X account. But if there was any sentiment that wasn't in line with Farage's vision, they'd be out, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I like the
different style of leadership.
I like the comment from Angela here. She says they have to live their ideology online. There isn't one of them that could engage in a long-form political discussion. Well, there's a degree of truth in that because I find that the Restore guys blank me or say very nasty things about me. I don't care, but they do say these things, which I don't really get from Reform people. And Jed, Jed, you and I have talked for a long time about, Reform and all of that. But I find, generally speaking, that Reform people behave pretty decently. There's always a bad apple in every barrel. And there's a difference with Restore. They are much more online. Like Angela says, they're very, very hostile. You dare criticize Rupert, and you're gonna. And I've had this. Like, you're gonna have a pylon. I've had several pylons from Restore. I've never had a pylon from Reform.
No, and I think one of your comments when you first started this, just a few moments ago, you called Farage a centrist, and what have I said all along for the last 2 years? I've not necessarily called him a centrist. I said, but what he's trying to do is connect with Mr. and Mrs. Joe Soap, sat on the sofa with a tea on the lap, watching the news, watching GB News, and everybody slags off GB News. But what you've got to do you can go down Rupert Lowe's line, and Rupert Lowe has fallen in with the establishment. And I brought it up earlier. I'm just scrolling through your feed at the moment to bring it back up as we're talking. But he's fallen in line with the establishment, and he's gone, we're not fielding a candidate either. But so all Rupert Lowe is doing is confirming, actually, he might talk tough, or his social media might talk tough.
Yeah.
But actually, he's just as bad as all the others. And I said all along that Farage has got to get, and I've found it now, there we go, so I'll bring it up. Farage has got to get the Joe Soap, the non-voter, the person that just goes out, puts scaffolding up all day, back-breaking work, comes home, pops to the pub on his way home, maybe a couple of pints, gets home. His good lady wife has got his tea ready. He sits down on the sofa with it on his knee and a good bit of sliced bread. Yeah, butter sliced bread, nice and thick, and he makes a butty out of it. And that's it. That's who Farage is trying to get. Farage isn't trying to get political people like us, because we've already made up our minds where we're going. And as you said, you're changing your mind. But Rupert Law, he puts out this hard line, but yet, as he says there, they refuse to put a candidate up. So all he is falling in line with the establishment that he swears he's fighting against.
Yeah, that's the view I've come to hold on it. I really have, Jed. I think, as I say, I've come almost identical to the view, to be fair, you've held from day one. But I mean, I obviously do prefer more tough things, but you just got to be realistic. But I've been very disappointed in Restore. Somewhat pissed off that Rupert decided to unfollow me, but that's his call. And as I say, it wasn't him anyway, because I know it's Alistair and I know what the game is. I also know some other things. So, sometimes people Ben Habib did not conduct himself very well the other day. So I'll have a go at him just while I'm at it. He came out and he said,
still going?
Well, that's it. That's the point, Chad. This is what really annoyed me. He came out and decided to lecture Nigel Farage and saying, "Oh, this is just all about your ego. Why don't you just step down and have a leadership contest and invite Rupert Lowe to stand?" And Chad, my argument with and I did say this publicly, Ben's not in a position to talk about political leadership now, is he? And if I were him, I would
no, because he hasn't got anything to lead but himself.
Precisely. Yeah.
So, and to be honest, I don't think Rupert Law's got much to lead other than himself. Yeah, he might. We can always claim that we've got X amount of followers online, and I can go and buy, 10,000 bots that'll say, "Hey, I'm the best person in the world." I mean, I don't have to do that because there's 10,000 people that think that anyway. But my point is, the following for Farage is a true core following, and they are polite, pleasant people. I mean, I followed Farage. I would vote Reform. I have voted Reform, and I don't mind saying it, because I don't like the nasty politics of the left that keep telling me we're the good guys, yet they're the ones causing all the violence. And then we've got Rupert, and as you've explained with Rupert Law's following and people, you go against him and they pile on. The only nice person here in this conversation, apart from me and the other four people on this show, is actually Farage.
Well, I think, I don't know if any of you watched it, but I did an interview with a lady called June Slater on Monday night there, and she made a couple of really very good points, and one of which is that Reform have got, I think, something like about 2,500 councillors across the UK as of May, and at grassroots level, they are working and they have made some progress, much better than the Uni Party. So I think it all comes down to the fact that Reform have done, I'm not saying they're perfect, but they've done some good things. They're making progress. And I just think the British deep state has said, right, we're going to get you now. We're taking you down. So it is progress,
David. Yeah. Sorry to butt it again, but and I don't normally do this, but
you never do.
Progress. And they have made slow progress. And why? Because when they take over these councils and stuff, all the people in the back room,
correct,
push the pens and count the beans, and just remember 2 beans and 2 beans makes a small casserole. Sorry, a line from Blackadder. But they are the ones that then obfuscate, if I got the word right, what the Reform councillors are trying to do, or they push back. And it's that constant fight by the establishment, whether it's backroom people, whether it's civil servants, etc., against what the people want, and the people want something different, which is Reform.
And that's why, you see, if I can just come in on that as well, Jed, if we go forward to 2029, and let's just imagine for one moment, and I think it's against the odds, but let's assume Reform and Farage did win and have a majority. You see, the minute he tries to do anything, Whitehall, and we heard Dominic Cummings explain how Whitehall want to take him down. The entire apparatus of the deep state is going to do everything possible to stop him. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely. This is it. It's not just a battle against other candidates to
Oh,
get your
no,
seat,
no.
to get your position. It's a battle against every single institution.
Exactly. But look, don't worry about it, because whilst we take our views on Nigel and what's happening there, the good news is, folks, and I want to bring you good news at the witching hour of 9:00. Andy, King of the North, King of the North.
Oh, will you stop it with the King of the North bit?
I know. He makes me feel queasy, but he's got a message, Grantonio, that I think will probably resonate with you, because he was asked yesterday or the day before, how would he define success, electoral success, and his answer, Grantonio, was hope. Apparently, if everyone feels hopeful, that proves that he's succeeded. And in addition to that, there's going to be economic growth in every postcode.
Oh,
Did you say that?
please. No, I didn't see
Hope
that.
and change. Hope and change.
Well, yeah,
Paddy, yeah, but-
you'll know about Obama and hope and the triumph of sentimentality or sentiment over
The movement that threw my country 30 years into the past.
Well,
worse-
yeah, hope, and it's actually you've now got despair. Because of all this sentiment and wishy-washy stuff. I don't really know what Burnham stands for. I've heard about he's talking about devolution. Is he more devolution for like the North and stuff? Like, that's really what we need, is it? More politics? Go on, David.
It worked really well in Manchester, because he's been the mayor in Manchester for the last 10 years. Manchester has shown the least, roughly 50% less economic growth than any other major city outside of London, and the amount of homeless people in it, which he promised to sort out, has tripled. So if you look,
tripled. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. I mean, I don't know how well
the buses are free, David. The buses are free.
Oh, that's good.
Well, they're not, because we're paying for them.
I don't know how well you know Manchester, David, but there's the gardens. I'm sure you're familiar.
I know
with
the gardens,
Piccadilly Gardens.
Yeah.
And they used to be reasonable. I'm told before my time they were beautiful.
They were beautiful gardens. They were.
You now have YouTubers walking around Piccadilly Gardens on a daily basis, getting unbelievable numbers of viewers. Just showing the problems with drugs, with homelessness, and just the filth. It's a horrible place. I'm not saying Burnham is responsible for it, but he's certainly not made it better. I didn't know about the homelessness being triple what it was.
Yeah.
But Angela's just put this thing about Communist Central Manchester. Oh yeah, it is a hotbed of banal left-wing sentiment. That's what Manchester is. I mean, people used to talk about Liverpool being that kind of place. But just very quickly about Makerfield. I mean, can we all, in retrospect, say that was a different type of election? That wasn't Burnham getting elected for Burnham's sake. That was people trying to get Starmer out. So, maybe Reform actually did do quite well under those circumstances.
I think so. I mean, but, Adrian, come to you on this one. I mean, Andy's revealed that not only is his sort of lodestar hope, which is about as vague a thing as you can come up with. But I noticed today he also said that he's going to make sure he cracks down in Israel, because he didn't feel that Labour under Starmer had been sufficiently hostile. So you're beginning to see the pivot.
Andy Burnham's openly saying he's going to be anti-Semitic? Right. Okay.
Well, look at his backbenchers. Look at them. Oh, I wanted to say, by the way,
that means anti-American too.
Yeah. Oh, Paddy, we'll get to that. We'll get to the Trump aspect in a second. But Adrian, the thing that, I mean, Nigel Farage is being subject to the most intense political scrutiny that anyone could conceive of. Andy Burnham's walking into Downing Street, no tough questions, Adrian. Not one.
But again, that's just the landscape we live in. We have a media that has absolutely failed to do any kind of job over this last, 6-7 years. Very, very easy. And I'm including COVID in that. For Andy Burnham to say all we need to do is believe and hope, it's a bit like Zach Polanski saying I can make your boobs bigger just by thinking about them.
I don't want bigger boobs. And all we need is hope.
Polanski's dentist is in need of hope.
Yeah, good one. But
I hope
does
I win
he-
the lottery on Friday, but
Does he
the
honestly
only
believe?
hopes I know are Bob Hope and No Hope.
oh, I know.
And
Back,
Hope Hospital, where a bunch of my friends were born, and it's quite a miserable place as well. Apparently, Hope Hospital,
yeah, is that in Liverpool?
Trafford, Manchester.
Trafford, is that there's one I know in Liverpool as well. But anyway, Adrian,
Do you not think that means that Burnham is totally bereft of any kind of ideas if that's all he can come up with?
The media are far more interested than Nigel Farage's daughter than any ideas that Burnham's got, any plans of his.
He wasn't brought in for his ideas. He was brought in to fill a spot so they can have a face for their ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Paddy, one of the big things that's going to happen is Burnham's going to get coronated. And President Trump's already made a few comments about him. And I can't see that. I think the relationship will be worse. And
What has
Stormer's
Trump said about him?
Well, he said he's a kind of left-wing guy. Trump just talks, Antonio, and he made sort of comments about Andy Burnham being a kind of a left-wing guy. I think, Paddy, words to that effect anyway.
He's a Burnham. He's not right now. It's not on his radar. We've got a few other things going on right now. What you guys decide to do with who's going to lead you? He knows he ain't dealing with Starmer. Whoever's next, he'll deal with when they're actually in the office. But we've got a couple of. You're not on our front burner right now. We have other things we are in the midst of.
Yeah, we're not a priority. Although it was
one thing I just want to say, because I don't think you saw the chat. Jed, check the recording. It looks like we stopped.
No, we're still live.
We're still live, Paddy. Yeah.
I'm watching it on X.
Yeah, live, but is it recording?
It's okay, Paddy. It will record. Don't worry.
Whenever we finish, Paddy, it automatically does that. So chill on that. Focus instead.
Do you listen back to your recordings, Paddy?
No, I can't stand my own voice. Are you kidding? Although when I'm
You're not the only one, Paddy.
but you got to stick with me. I was invited. But here's the thing. Now, when I'm editing or doing a video piece, you have to put up with yourself and you never sound like who you think you sound like.
No, I hear Paddy. I absolutely despise listening to myself or watching myself. I always have. It is. I don't.
I think I sing beautifully as well, but ask my neighbours.
Keir Starmer.
Yeah,
must hear his own voice all the time. When he's watching back, like on the news and things. I just feel sorry for the guy. That's all.
Who's that, Starmer?
Sir Keir Starmer, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
he
is
must
awful.
hear himself all the time and think. Well, apparently Margaret Thatcher didn't speak like that. She had voice training to lower her voice. Yeah. But it's
did.
like, imagine the first time Sir Keir Starmer heard his voice. He'd be like, who's that Dalek on the telly? Oh, that's me.
Yeah. That's strange. I noticed there's a comment. The recording is already available, says Daniel, a.k.a. John. Chad, so I'm confused.
I'm telling you, something quit it right at the top of the hour. Something shut off.
I'm looking at X. Just let me see.
It's probably on an hour.
I tell you what, I'm going to get rid of the banner live on screen.
The joy of having live broadcasts.
Yeah, can I just confirm we are absolutely live? The matter of recording, I don't even care about, so we're not going to waste any time talking about it. I want to talk more about Andy Burnham because, as I say, Burnham, the way this is going to work, folks, is he will become leader of Labour, not tomorrow, but Friday of next week, and he'll then become Prime Minister on the Monday. So, remember, he got 25,000 votes. That's it. That's his mandate to become Prime Minister.
He's your Biden. He's just the fate, and not say he's got more marbles than Biden has, but but Biden wasn't running anything. He was everybody else was.
Yeah, but I'm worried about the fact that we're going to slip into a really far left position, Paddy. Like I know Trump is hard enough dealing with Macron and some of the others.
How much further left can you get?
Exactly.
Well, you know, the hostility towards Israel. I don't know what else he's going to come up with. I don't know. I don't know. But I just, I think
suppose it
He's
depends
going to
on who the
change the church.
chancellor's going to be.
Him and the king are going to agree to disband the Church of England and make Great Britain a Muslim country, with the head cleric being the king.
well, that's a big claim, Paddy. I'm not sure that's exactly what the agenda is. I think his agenda is to pander to all the left wingers on the Labour benches, Adrian. You know, because it's riddled with extreme left wingers, and even actually he did talk about the fact that like it's not really going to be possible till apparently cut the welfare budget. And our welfare budget is going to bankrupt the country. And he said, well, we can't do anything about that, Adrian.
But we can't. We have millions of uninvited guests that are currently here to pay for, and we have millions more that are coming that we need to pay for. So bend over, give the country everything you've got, because they will take everything you've got.
Oh, they absolutely have. By the way, did anyone see there's been over 1,000 of our uninvited guests come across the channel this past week? It's funny how the BBC didn't cover that story. I wonder why they missed that one. Over 1,000 in 1 week.
Because the weather. 1,000 in a year that we know about.
Yeah. See Adrian message. My gosh, I put out people.
There's never enough bonfires when you need one, are there?
Well, Northern Ireland's doing it. We're doing our best. We're punching above our weight, Antonio.
Is it
not
not
bonfires of the Vance? Is that not a film as a song or something?
So the BBC during the week tracked down
Morrissey.
some Iraqi Kurd who is responsible for a lot of the people smuggling, and done an expose on it, but yet we can't protest against the people that are coming across that he smuggled in.
I know.
Did you see that?
Well, what do you think of the guy? Can I ask everyone this question? What the leader of one of the Muslim rape gangs, and I can't remember which city it was it Rochdale? But anyway, he'd been sentenced in prison for 22 years or whatever for the horrendous crimes. He got out in about whatever it was, 11 or whatever it is. And anyway, he's out now walking the streets of the town in which he lives, where all the victims still live probably. And they can't deport him. Apparently, Shabana Mahmood says she's going to change this legislation on Monday to deport him. But all Pakistan has to, because he's a Pakistani, all Pakistan has to say is, nope, we don't want him back. And that's it, the end. What do we do about that? Who wants
It's
to go first?
easy. We airdrop him. With the parachute.
You beat me to it.
Optional. The parachute is optional. Antonio, what do you think we should do with it? Like the government saying, there's just nothing we can do. I'm sorry, all you rape victims in Rochdale or wherever it is. You're just going to have to just deal with it.
So, but they say these things, but they don't actually want to do anything. Ideologically, they don't want to do anything.
No, they don't.
And the excuse that they use would be human rights, and it's the civil service. So, go on, Paddy, go on.
I'm saying, what will the reaction be if some father accidentally has something to do with him? What will they do to that poor father? But I mean, if I saw the guy walking down the street who raped my daughter.
Oh, I know. Paddy would all be there. Yeah.
I'm amazed. I'm sort of quite heartened as well in a funny way at how little violence, vigilante violence, there's been towards these people. Because if one of these guys were to be killed, we wouldn't hear the end of it. Or is it a case there's a lot of stuff that goes on? Like, for example, do mosques get burnt down and the media don't talk about it? Does that make sense?
Does, but
no. If there was a mosque caught fire, even if it was an electrical fire, they try to blame it on the crazy. Yeah. No.
But Paddy, no, hang on. There's been a couple of instances in the UK where there has been fires at mosques, and the media jumped up and down and had their totally expected hissy fit, and then we discovered who set fire to it and who inevitably sets fire to the mosques. Other Muslims.
And it's just like over here, you see these where there'll be this outrage on the campus where there's all these racist placards found, and every time it's usually they find it's a minority who put them up.
So, Paddy, I think that's the rule. You know, they have their wee outrage moment, and then and they push that out, and then when the facts come in, you discover, as you just said, Paddy, or as I've just said, it was a Muslim. It's so predictable.
A bit of an aside, slightly
Yeah.
connected, but a bit of an aside. It was a few years ago. David Lammy, my favorite, Brainbox Einstein,
Yeah.
he went to the media with this problem that he'd had. He was receiving racist mail through the post. It was absolutely disgusting, the stuff that people were saying to him. And yet, strangely, the handwriting on some of them was very, very similar to his.
Yeah, that was a total coincidence, because there's no way, David, there's this individual Jed's brought up on screen who, my suggestion, Adrian, how do you think we should deal with a guy like this within the remits of...
Honest answer, I think we should drug him, rape him, tie him to a chair, and every girl that was abused by him should be able to go in and get their revenge on him.
I'll let you do
or
the
would you
racing,
prefer,
Adrian.
or would you prefer the diplomatic answer of, we should send him back to Pakistan with a note, take your... and deal with it, because you're getting nothing else from us. But the reality is, we won't. We're a spineless country.
We won't do that. Yeah,
we haven't got the balls that we would have had under Margaret Thatcher, because she would have done it no problem. She'd have just went, no foreign aid, no
That's
nothing.
You wouldn't
No
have
visas,
this problem if you had
no
Thatcher.
visas, no nothing's coming your way for the next 50 years. And if you
That's
step
right.
out of line, you know, see, to be honest, it's not just him that
send it
needs
to the
deported. It's not just him, it's his wife, his kids, everything. His house needs to be sold. Any money raised needs to be given to those girls that were abused. Anybody else in his family who aided and abetted needs to go with him. It's not just him.
Adrian, I'd send him to a mosque somewhere. I understand there's a mosque in Northern Ireland.
There's a great one in Moyga Shell. Great heating system in it.
Yeah, I mean, but Adrian, you put your finger on the issue. All the government needed to do was to say, right, we're stopping all foreign aid. You're not getting 150 million from us, and by the way, all visas are instantly revoked for the next 10 years. And believe you me, that guy would be in the next flight to Pakistan.
I would go one step further. See, anybody of Pakistani origin who's in this country on a student visa, a work visa, whatever it is, it's cancelled. Out you go.
Yeah.
Out you go. What business deals do you want to do with the UK? Cancelled immediately.
The full citizen vigilante treatment.
Oh, you know.
No, you're not going down that route just yet. Do you know what I mean? But you're basically saying to them, right, we're going to cancel all student visas, all work visas, any business deals that you have with the UK government, UK companies, they're now cancelled. You're getting absolutely jacked from us from now on.
Yeah,
because that it's only that kind of way that'll make them react, because it'll cost them tens of billions.
Yeah, it says something about the UK that we can't deport convicted mass rapists. It says Pakistani mass rapists. It says something about us. But okay, want to move on. We're in the final stretch.
If he, say, for example, he was a white American, what do you think would happen? Or if he was a white European, would he be deported? Instantly,
of course. Yeah. And that speaks something to just how dysfunctional this country is, you know. But talking of dysfunctionality, Paddy, wanted to jump to you for the last 10 minutes here. So we talked about this one over the last 6 months, but it keeps bubbling back up. So I opposed the memo of understanding between the US and Iran. Didn't agree with it at all, and didn't agree with the ceasefire. But anyway, Trump did it and all that. But then, Paddy, in the last couple of days, Trump came out, and this is where he got my admiration again. He called the Iranian scum. He basically said, as far as he's concerned, the memo means nothing. The ceasefire's over, and he's going to get back to doing what he likes to do best, and that's bombing them. Paddy, what's going on? Is this just tell me what's going on with Trump?
This is I've been saying this all along. Nobody wants to hear it. This is that he'll negotiate. He'll keep a team there negotiating forever. These people are literally, he's giving them enough rope to hang themselves. No one can say, as the damage, more bombs fall in Iran. No one can say that Trump did not do everything he could to get these people to settle this. They just refuse, and that's been his plan all along, because they cannot. They're systemically, almost genetically genetically opposed, or definitely religiously opposed to doing to doing what's right. So therefore, you keep talking to them, and every time they act out, you bomb the crap out of them. And this is, and this is going to eventually, the regime is going to completely fall. And like you said the other day about the people, because they're not armed. We can't, the people can't revolt against this government. So the government has to be dismantled by outside force.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really loved Trump's. This was at the NATO conference where he was brilliant at that as well. He called out Spain for what they are. He
called him cheap and irresponsible, and basically he called twice now to end all trade with them and everything. And they're like, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We're going to cut you off, you people." And they're just screwing it up more and more for the rest of NATO, because number one, you guys got to pay, because we're cutting back. And like I said, we are pulling troops out. It just keeps going the way it's going. We don't need to be in Europe. None of you support us. So why should we be dying and spend all our riches to keep you safe?
I agree, Paddy. I support that view. I think the US should withdraw. But Grantonio, and then Adrian, and come to then you, Jed. Grantonio, that, like, when I hear Trump call the Iranian leadership scum, and when I hear him mock the Spanish Prime Minister, I think to myself, I'm going to miss you when you're gone, because no one else does that. There's no other politician, and no one will. Jed, what do you think?
Bit of a difference in style between Trump and Farage, interestingly. I think Trump acts as if he doesn't care if people vote for him. Whereas Farage, back to what Jed was saying, is
no one can vote for him anymore.
But come on, even before that, he said things that were just so counterintuitive. And that's why he got elected, if that makes sense.
No, it is. That's exactly right. Because people who were, he's the first politician anybody's heard talk actual, reality in politics.
Yeah, I do remember it was, what year was he elected? Was it 16?
26.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember on the campaign trail, this was the moment that I thought, he's a genius, was he was slagging off Hillary. And then out of nowhere, he started going on about Bernie Sanders. And he started going, Bernie Sanders, he's got some great ideas. Bernie's people, great people. And I'm thinking, that was just so...
Wow, is Trump in the room?
Did
you invite Trump today?
I know sarcasm when I can hear it, but it was like, it was such a counterintuitive move. And I thought, that's so genius. Never slag off your opponents. Never slag off the people who vote for your opponents as well. Do you remember when Hillary called them the basket of deplorables? That lost it. Yeah, all the swing voters were like, nah, we're not being spoken to like that.
And the other thing about the Bernie thing was the party pushed Bernie would have won the nomination over Hillary. The party pushed Bernie out so that Hillary could be the candidate against Trump.
Bernie got a big payoff for that, though, so he did. Big payoff.
I'm in the wrong game.
No, comrade, he's for the people.
Yeah, he's a man of the people.
He wishes he was a man. He's not. He got a big payoff for that.
But Adrian, don't you think when you see Trump in full flight, like at NATO there the other day, there's just so much to admire. Do you know? And part of me thinks I'm gonna miss this so much in 2028.
I've made it clear. I love the man. He's a troll of epic proportions. It's the level I want to reach when it comes to trolling, because he's brilliant. Yeah. He's brilliant. But that's what these politicians need. They need a cold hard slap around the face sometimes. So a few weeks back, we were disagreeing about this memorandum of understanding, and I said, just wait and see how it plays out. And to me, what has happened was he knew that this deal would be broken by the Iranians, so he was happy to go along with it. Yeah, I'll sign the deal, no problem.
100% correct.
I know you're going to break it. And when you break it, I'm not going to look like the bad guy. It's going to be you. And I think he knew that. I think he just let them go ahead, give them enough rope, and they'll hang themselves. And that's why I kept saying, look, I know it doesn't look great, but just wait and see how it plays out. And that's what I think he sort of was banking on. Okay, we'll sign it, let you, put it out to the world, because in a few weeks' time, you'll shaft yourselves and we'll bomb the hell out of you again. But what I also think as well, he's destroying the petrodollar system. Okay. So it was Nixon who took America off the gold standard back in what, 72, 70? Whoa,
Early
70,
70s, yeah.
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 So the deal was that Saudi Arabia and all that would be selling the oil. America would be protecting them, right? But he's now destroyed that. So he's destroyed that whole petrodollar system, if you think about it, because the military protection from all those countries that were working against the United States is now gone. And he's now exposed Iran as well.
Well, actually, Adrian, I think, again, this is the genius of Trump. He exposes everybody. Like I would argue he's exposed J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, who I think is the Mike Pence. I know we don't agree on this, Adrian, but
Yeah.
I mean, J.D. Vance was Mr. MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding guy. And it's like Trump gave him his head to do that. But I wonder how that's going to work out. Like, I wonder, by 28. Yeah.
The whole
Go ahead.
Peter Thiel thing with J.D. Vance has always sort of been in the back of my mind. Palantir, he sponsored him many, many years ago before he was, really getting into politics. So there's a few things there in the back of my mind. But again, you need a good cop, bad cop.
Also true. Also true.
I can just say,
Trump comes across as the brash, rough one, and J.D. Vance comes along softly, tries to be a bit more diplomatic at times to smooth over when Trump's firing the stuff out. We don't know how that's going to pan out.
And
go on, Paddy.
Let me just get this in here real fast. There is a bit of good cop, bad cop going between Trump and J.D. Vance. Like he even said, if this fails, it's Vance's fault. But Vance has a big Cuban problem.
What, Rubio?
Yeah, Marco. He's got a big Vance right now is not who the base is supporting to take Trump's place.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, guys, but whenever Trump announced the memo of understanding, Marco Rubio was standing behind him, and he was studying the ground. His eyes were downcast. He did not look happy. Whenever Trump yesterday called the Iranian scum, Marco was standing behind him, and he had a big smile on his face. So, I'm with Marco Rubio. I would love Marco Rubio to get it.
I've said this before. You underestimate Trump at your peril. You cannot second guess him. You cannot understand the things that are going through his head or the steps that he's prepared to take. And if you've read The Art of the Deal, you sort of have that in the back of your mind too.
Yeah.
Yes, he always is willing to make a deal, but if he doesn't get what he wants, he will hammer the life out of you, and he openly admits it.
Well, speaking of Trump and those moments that you're going to miss, Uncle David.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this one. Paddy will know this, but it was a few years ago. And this is absolutely brilliant. One of those embarrassing off-the-cuff things that he does every now and then. When he just lets loose. He was giving, I think it was some Medal of Honor or Medal of Freedom or something I think they were Navajo Indians or something. And they were all lined up in the White House. Do you know where I'm going with this?
No, I don't.
No. Well, when you can, type it into YouTube and watch it. And he's giving them the medals. And just out of nowhere, he goes, "Yeah, we have someone here. She thinks she's a Native American. We call her Pocahontas."
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
You're the real, but just out of nowhere, just decides.
Yeah, they were given. That was the last of the Navajo talkers, I believe.
So, guys,
Use that as an opportunity to just diss Elizabeth Warren. Absolutely brilliant.
So, as I said last week, how we talk serious and stuff. And I always said, why don't we have like the old news at 10, and finally, and it was some light-hearted, some funny news item. I think this that we're discussing now over the last 10 minutes is that because Trump is just brilliant. He plays everybody, and everybody is played by him.
I've got some good news, Joe.
You got a New Yorker that went to the college in Philadelphia. His sarcasm couldn't be cut through with a machete.
As we're coming to the end, I've actually got some good news, which is not connected to what we're talking about. If I can just say it for you, the thing that number one most popular boy's name in the country is Mohammed for like a 10th year in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
The number one least popular boy's name is Keir.
Yeah.
And probably the least popular car too.
Yeah.
Oh, sad.
Oh God,
Hey
Kia.
guys, I think it's time we
Oh,
wrap this
Ted,
one up this week, isn't it?
that's a motorist joke. But yeah, I saw that about Muhammad, and then I saw but I saw some Muslim apologists come on and say, oh yeah, but that's because, well, what reasons? But you notice, by the way, that in the top 10 girls' names, there's no Muslim name. Not weird. Or maybe it's not weird at all. Maybe it's exactly what you'd expect. But listen, well, we ended on a high there. We got a laugh in, Jed. So we got and it's good. It's good. It's so much. Sometimes it's so dark. We need a bit of levity in there. I do appreciate your impersonations, by the way, Antonio, because actually we probably have to retire you from your Keir Starmer because he's gone now next week. So that's why you need to be. Well, you've got your Andy Burnham, haven't you? You've got your. I hear what is it you say? I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I understand your frustration. You're right, mate. How you doing, mate? Yeah, I understand your frustration.
Brilliant. This is why I do this. This is good. I enjoy this. And Jed, you're right. Finishing on a laugh is good. Listen, folks, we have reached the allocated time. I understand there's a big football game in the background. So I might go and watch France versus Morocco. I think that's happening now. But want to thank everyone. If you have enjoyed the show, don't forget you can support me by buying me a coffee. Jed's just brought the link up there. If you want to give us a wee bit of a help out, that's how you can do it. And beyond that, I just want to thank Antonio, Adrian, Paddy, Jed, of course, for masterminding the whole thing, and all of you on all the different platforms. Thanks so much for tuning in. And just to let you know, there's going to be a live go out on Monday night with Dr. Ben Casey, who's the author of a brilliant book called Island of Strangers, which is about really the decimation of the UK. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. But anyway, Ben's coming on with me and you'll catch that on Monday night. So other than that, folks, thanks so much for being here tonight, and catch you tomorrow on all the other platforms. That's it for us from tonight. Good night.